Draxall will play host to a top 6 clash. The champs' grueling schedule continues against the Lions, and we'll see a whole new Vere in the new year. All this and more on this Match Week 14 preview show. Yes, people, welcome back to Jamaica Fan. 1/3 of the season is over, and we are all set for the start of round 2. And we will begin with one interesting matchup. Dumbo versus ARNET Guns. ARNET was practically near perfect in the last stretches of the first round. They were unbeaten in 9 games and were on a 5-game winning streak before seeing it all crash and burn in their last match against Cavalier. Now, just like Portmore United, the real test will be to see how they respond after witnessing their first loss in months. Unfortunately, their first assignment won't be an easy one, as Dumbo Sports Complex has been an impenetrable fortress so far this season. I am not sure if it's the smaller dimensions of the pitch or in playing in front of those crazy fans, but Dumbo are a different beast at home. And with the team currently in a 3-game winless streak, they know they have to continue to maximize that home field advantage as long as they can to stand any chance of sneaking into the top 6. Their last encounter was on match day 1, where the Junglers blew Dumbo away 3-0. That's why we all have to tune in when Dumbo hosts ARNET Guns this Sunday at 3 p.m. Mount Pleasant versus Portmore United. We mentioned it a few minutes ago, but Portmore went on a mini downward spiral after seeing their unbeaten streak snapped by ARNET. Okay, maybe calling it a spiral is a bit too harsh, as they haven't lost since, but 3 draws in a row saw the Sun City boys slide all the way down to 6 in the table. Now they travel north to take on the league's most informed team in Mount Pleasant. The St. Anne men are in impeccable form and had become the league's best goal scorers. Kimani Bailey is in the Golden Boot race with 8 goals, but their entire attacking front line has been deadly in front of goal. Even better, the extra rest should give Captain McCullough enough time to possibly recover from a niggling thigh injury that has kept him from starting. But Portmore will be seeking revenge after they were defeated by Mount Pleasant at home on the opening day. We will see if they get it when Mount Pleasant hosts Portmore United this Sunday at 3 p.m. Maroons versus Tivoli. Things were looking up for Maroons when they beat their fellow relegation scrappers in back-to-back games, but since then, it all went sour. In their last 2 games, the team picked up 9 goals and no points, with the only silver lining being that those heavy losses came against last year's finalists. Jason Wright seemed to be over his injury issues, but again, it's that defense that needs shoring up. Good news, help is almost here, but more on that later. Now they face a Tivoli team that are pretty decent in attack. They may have lost their last game 4-2 to Mobe, but it was their 3rd multi-goal game in a row. It's undeniable that Fuller is the star now, but coach Jerome Waite must be pleased that they're finding goals from all over the squad. Now they just need to eliminate those individual errors that cost them cheap goals, and they may make a run for the top 6. Ironically, their last meeting in round 1 was a 0-0 draw at the same venue, but hopefully we get some goals 3 p.m. this Sunday when Maroons United host Tivoli Guns at Stadium East. Cavalier versus Humble Lion.
Well, it's like we are being punished because we are the champions. That's all I can say. Because there's no other team has ever gotten a fixtures like this to play so many games in so little time.
Cavalier's head coach Rudolph Speed got the entire JPL community talking over this mini break with those comments as his team took on a grueling gauntlet of 4 games in 11 days. Despite this, they managed to do fairly okay, but this suffered a shock loss to basement dwellers Chapan Maroons on Sunday. And unfortunately for them, they will have 1 more game to go before Christmas when another struggling team comes to town. Humble Lion are in desperate need of some Christmas cheer after going 6 games without victory. They simply lack goals and they will be hoping their defense can keep them competitive until attacking reinforcement arrives in January. The good news, as stated before, Cavalier did lose recently to a fellow Clarendon club, with their other loss so far this season also coming against a bottom 3 team. There are strong whispers that Cavaliers struggle against a low block, especially with the talisman Busy Atkinson out, injured still, so it should be a fascinating encounter when Cavalier host the Lions this Sunday at Stadium East. Racing versus Waterhouse. That team that managed to beat Cavalier for the first time this season was Racing United. The newcomers from Portmore are definitely the grinders this season, as they seem to have a knack of picking up crucial points here and there, including a hard-fought point in the Portmore derby. However, they still only sit a mere 2 points above relegation and would need more firepower in attack to stay far from that zone. Their opponents this weekend have no such fears in attack. Waterhouse may have seen Bygrave cool in front of goal lately, but the red-hot form of Andre Fletcher came in at the right time. He's definitely a sure starter from here on out, but Jibberson scoring another winner from the bench will give Marcel Gill some headache, as he must be tempted to put him in from the start. Regardless of who starts the game, they hope to pull off a similar result from these two teams' last encounter when Waterhouse won 1-0 on opening day. This racing team is fairly tough, so we will all see if they can take down Waterhouse 3 p.m. this Sunday at Fernita Park. Chapan Maroons versus Harbour. Speaking of the promoted teams, Chapan Maroons pulled off a major upset this past Sunday after beating Cavalier 3-1. Many believe this was a work of the infamous new coach Bunks after the arrival Jermaine Douglas, but I always believe that there's a great potential in this squad. Maybe Douglas is the coach to bring this potential to light, but with Maroons being only 2 points out of relegation zone, he has to do it quickly. Therefore, they may fancy facing fellow strugglers Harbour at this right time. The Stars of the East are entering this one off the back of a 5-game winless run that sees them stuck on 12 points as well. They have changed coach as well, but their fortunes in front of goal remain the same as they struggle to generate enough goal scoring chances. But they remain a fairly difficult team to break down, and maybe if they can keep the Mara Deacon quiet long enough, they stand a good chance of scoring a positive result on Sunday. But Chapan will remember the opening day when they achieved an impressive 2-1 victory over Harbour. Can they do it again? Let's find out when Chapan Maroons host Harbour at the Anthony Spalding Complex this Sunday. Montego Bay versus Vere United. The Cavalier are coming. Butler promised Vere fans that help was on the way, and while they have to wait until January to be a complete unit, they do welcome their high school stars back into the fray. And not a moment too soon, as without them, Vere went 6 games without recording a win until they broke their streak against Tivoli last time out. But facing an informed Montego Bay United will be a real test. Mobe will be playing this match after a tough match in the midweek against Cavalier, but Zapata, so far in the Mobe driving seat, has been reluctant to really rotate his squad, so I'm fully expecting the usual players to be out on the field this Monday. As for their head-to-head records, Vere has not beaten Mobe in 6 matches, including a 4-1 thrashing back in September. But Vere are changing, but will there be a challenge this time around when they travel to take on Montego Bay at Catherine Hall this Monday? Alright, that's it for the previews, but we got some early transfer news. Vere are making massive moves ahead of the January transfer market. They have bolstered their forward line with the signing of English and Nigerian player Destiny Oladipo. They also added 20-year-old Brazilian talent Marcos Rojas, as well as Mona stars Alex Suazo, Riquelme Edwards, Demarion Harris, and Sherman Phillip, who all officially joined the squad. Vere is not the only team making early transfers, as Racing are looking to solve their lack of goal scoring up front with 2 new attackers. Racing United acquired 23-year-old striker Carlton Blackwood from Dumbarton FC on a free transfer for the remainder of the season, as well as former Excelsior High School Money Cup standout 24-year-old Demorne Hutchinson for the remainder of the Jamaica Premier League season. Lions were not to be left out, as they also made a move. They added another defender to their roster as they acquired 19-year-old central defender Jamari Fowler from Bull Bay FC on a permanent transfer. That's it for the local news, but let's look at this week's poll where I asked you guys, does Cavalier have a fair point to complain about fixture congestion? And most of you guys said yes. And to be honest, I've been talking a lot about this on my colleague's platform, and this was probably the last time I addressed this, but I honestly believe that Cavalier do have a right to complain here. I honestly believe they had to, quickly run through this amount of games just because the league wanted to have all teams on parity going to the round 2. And I don't know why would they want that, since there's no real incentive to have everybody on the same amount of games before the end of the round, especially since they're no longer an end of the round final. It was incredibly tough on Cavalier, but as I said before, they got through it pretty okay. Alright, on to the predictions now. Dumboli versus ARNET. It'll be interesting to see how ARNET recovers, but Dumboli, as I said, is not that easy at home, so I see Dumboli in 2, ARNET Gans 2. More Pleasant versus Portmore. I think More Pleasant are too good at form right now. I think they will get past Portmore 2-1. Lions versus Tivoli. I'm thinking Tivoli win this one 3-1. Cavalier versus Humble Lion. I'm not sure what state of fitness or fatigue Cavaliers are in, and the Humble Lion might try to take advantage. You know what? I'm thinking this might be a Cavalier 1, Humble Lion 1. Racing versus Waterhouse. Racing are decent at home, but Waterhouse right now have too much firepower. I think this is also another 2-1 victory for Waterhouse. Chapan versus Harbour View. Interesting game, but I think Chapan have the better goal scoring form right now, and they may edge this one 1-0. Montego Bay versus Vere. Vere are a better team at the moment, but Montego Bay will be too strong for them. I see 2-0 Montego Bay. Alright guys, that's all I got here on this week preview show. Let me know in the comment section below what are your predictions for this weekend. And of course, get out to the games as much as you can on Sunday and on Monday night in Mobay. Otherwise, please like, subscribe and share as we look to keep you up to date on all things in the Jamaican Premier League leading up to the final in May. Otherwise, for great JPL content, you're already at the right place. JPL Fan. YouTube, big up yourself.